Now we'll start from the beginning. If you get a good walk in that suits the breed of your dogs, you are going to have a much more well-mannered dog at home. So you've got to figure out what your dog enjoys outdoors and learn how to manage that on walks. And today we'll be able to cover that. Every breed requires a different kind of walk. Okay, there's no cookie cutter approach here is what I'm trying to say for a dog's walk. So 3 things that you'll have to remember on a walk. Now I'm going to touch upon the breed again. It is the amount of physical exercise. Once you've done your research on the breed, see how much exercise that dog wants. So the amount of exercise is important. You have to realize how important mental stimulation is for your breed during a walk. The other point is never make it only about sniffing or only about physical exercise. This is something that I do with every single dog I train. I make sure that every time I step out of the house, there are some things I do depending on the dog behavior. But once I've done those things, those steps, I will then make sure that the dog gets enough time to sniff, go here, go there, whatever it is. But once they've done their business, once the pee and poop has happened, then the walk's on my terms. The breed type. The other thing is, the age of the dog. You don't want to be getting a tiny little pup that's 6 months old running on the street. If you have a dog that is obese or diabetic, we generally say take a check, keep a check on it. They need to lose weight, perhaps. Even their energy levels could vary, especially diabetic dogs. So you have to keep an eye on the health of the dog, check in with your vets, what's okay, what's not. Figure out what the times of the day are where your dog is less, nervous or less triggered by the environment. Okay, so these are some factors you will have to consider. And then you have to prepare yourselves. Okay, be understanding and be cognizant of what your dogs are reactive. Now, you have to realize what is your dog basically reactive to. Figure that out, jot it down, because every single trigger point, you will have to know the rest of this that I mentioned in the slide. How am I going to manage that? Right? Plan the walk times. Like I said, plan the times where dogs are not reactive as much to these external stimuli. Then also make sure that you keep things handy, have them on you, which your dog enjoys. It doesn't have to be a treat. In my case, there are a few dogs where I only pick up sticks. That's it. And these dogs love to play with the stick. But more importantly, have the right accessory on your dog. So for walking, let me move on. There are stages of our walks, okay? We don't think much about these, but these are very critical parts of the walk. There's a pre-departure stage of the walk. There's the walk itself. And there's a post-walk stage. And by pre-departure walks, pre-departure stage, it's not something that you do an hour in advance or 2 hours in advance. It's probably about 10-15 minutes before your walks actually begin. Post walks is again another 5 minutes once your dog comes back home. Never start a walk from a place of frustration. Okay. If you find yourself saying, oh man, I'm going to walk this dog, don't take a walk, because you're not going to help yourselves or the dogs in that case. Get into that happy mind frame. Remember to breathe, because in your leashes is your communication tool. If your leash gets tight, your leash is too loose, you're actually communicating very different things to your dogs. It gives you that confidence. When you know that you're going to do a good job walking, you will do a good job walking. There's no doubt about it. Now, common problems are dogs that excite. A nervous dog. Them can be lazy. Certainly, we have lunging dogs that react to these leashes. One of the things about pre-departure walks and post-walks, right? The ones who have excited dogs, these 3 stages are important. Okay, what are you supposed to do before you actually set out for a walk? First thing, I want you to dispel that additional excitement the dog has playing some game. The other thing is, as soon as dogs see like a leash and collar in our hands, what do? They jump up, most of the dogs. That's when you are not starting your walks. What I want you guys to do is put that collar and leash on and don't go anywhere. You are not taking a walk when your dog is in this hyper excited state. Once you notice that the dogs, the dogs might pick up the leash, have zoomies around the house, they might jump up, they might go up on the couch, get off, be a little crazy. They'll do it for about a minute or 2. Once you begin to see them calm down, that's when you say, yes, let's go, boy. What we have to realize is at these times when our dogs are reacting, we have got to stay calm. Don't talk to the dog. Don't yell at them. Don't do anything that will confuse. I generally tell my parents, be a tree. Trees don't react to anything. Trees just stand in one place. They let the dog react. They let the dog, go after it. But I would tell my parents, Wait for that second, that moment of calm. You can't do anything. Just hold on tight. Okay. Wait for that minute of that second of calmness, and then tell your dog, hey, come here, buddy. Let's go. Really can't manage your dogs. Get your dogs, pull them up. Okay. And once they've sort of, they say like, I'm on all four grounds. I'm not on all four paws. I need to get back on all four paws. They would have taken a break from barking. Now, what happens after the walk is also important to note. You want to walk the dog into the house. You just open the doors, walk in. You can let the leash go. You don't have to remove the collar and leash just yet. But be very calm when you re-enter the house, because you don't want your dogs to go into a hyper state after a walk again. The other kind of dog is a lazy dog. Now, I don't know if anybody has a lazy dog, but this is a dog that, basically just sits on the couch saying, nope, not walking. Show a lot of excitement about the walk. Hold the collar leash in front of them. Say, yes, I'm going for a walk. Who wants to go for a walk? Bring the ball out. Play a game if you want with them. Play catch, anything that gets your dog curious, and they kind of get up and they stretch and they're like, what is going on? What's getting you all this excited? And then collar, leash on, quickly start the walk from there. During the walks, introduce them to new places. Okay. And what I mean by that is, if you have a bush or a certain area that your dog has never sniffed before, take them there. Now, post walks, I want you to keep your dogs active. Unlike your hyper dogs, I want you to come back in, play a game with them. Because what happens with these lazy dogs, they sort of oscillate between extremes. Sometimes they love being lazy, and there are times when these dogs will just not want to stay inside the house anymore. They want to chill outside the house, right? So we've got to keep both the indoors and outdoors pleasant for them. So play a game once you come back into the house. Keep them excited, keep them fun, make it a fun place to be. The other part is the nervous dog. Now, what this means is a dog that is afraid of something outside their homes. Might be dealing with a dog that has had some unpleasant memories with either sound of a truck or sound of cars or other dogs even. Maybe they've come attacked its mother or some such thing, where the dog carries with itself some additional baggage that normally happy dogs would not have. So you'll have to be patient with these guys. What am I going to do? I'm going to make sure that the outdoors are not so nerve-wracking for you anymore. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure that you look at me as that leader, as that safe zone that you lack when you're outdoors. Okay. The other thing is what I call engage and disengage. Okay. This is vital for all dogs. It's not just for nervous dogs, even dogs that react on the leash, hyper dogs, all of them. I want you to do this game more and more. And what this game entails is you have to get your dog's attention on you before the dog reacts, before you even take your dogs outdoor for a walk. Use your balconies, use your terraces, use your front yards, your gates as your places where you will be able to train your dogs. This is about engage, disengage. And I'm not even asking you to do this outdoors. What happens when you've started doing this in your balconies, your terraces, your gates? You're basically teaching the dog, every time I see the trigger, I need to look at my human, because there's something that comes up from there. Now, there may be times when the dog is also nervous just to be on a collar or leash. Every time they look at the side of a collar and leash, they start trembling. They go under the couch, they hide under the bed, they refuse to come out for a walk. I want you guys, if you deal with those problems, to have the dog on a collar and what I call a house line. This is actually one of my dog's house lines. Very cheap collar a leash that you get, always on the dog. All right, now this comes to the final bit, which is the dogs that lunge. Like I said, before the departure, tire the dogs out a bit, carry things that motivate them. It could be toys, it could be treats, whatever it is that really gets them excited and focus on you another time. Work on the engage and disengage with the dogs. Then I want you to focus on a few other things while on the walk. Don't push your dog to socialize. Okay. The other thing is change the pace of your walk. Startle the dog. Say there's a human coming in and you know your dog's going to jump on them. You know your dog's going to react. I want you to quickly start jogging. Stay calm, stay quiet, stay confident. Your walks are going to improve over time. All right. These are just generic tips that will work for any kind of dog. Nervous, hyper, agitated, any kind of dog.